All right, what is up, everybody? We are back with another edition of Everyday Hoops. Hope you guys are having a good one. Today, we're going to be talking about the Dallas Mavericks. The last week has been a lot, not just for the Mavericks organization, for the Mavericks fans, and there's just been so much going on in Dallas. I want to talk about it here in today's video. Thank you guys for the views on the videos and the shorts recently. I really appreciate it. If you do like the content around here, consider subscribing, liking, turn notifications, do all stuff like that. I'd really appreciate it. Really upset a lot. Link to my Twitter and all that stuff down in the description below. And yeah, don't waste any more of your time. Let's get right into it. So, in Dallas with the Mavericks, the last about week and a half-ish or whatever has been absolutely insane. I mean, just so much has gone down in Dallas, starting with the Luka Doncic trade that happened, came out of nowhere, shocked the entire world on that day. Acquiring Anthony Davis and Max Christie, Nico Harrison kind of turning into from one of the best GMs into the worst GM and making that decision basically on his own, personally deciding to trade Luka Doncic, tearing it away from the Mavericks fan base and franchise. Taking Luka away from the Mavericks it was such a crazy decision to make, just on a whim. It felt like dang near, and to take that away just like that was really hard for them. There's been a lot of stuff said about him. There's been in front of the arena during games and stuff, and before games, there's been kind of protests and signs and all that stuff. Even ESPN reporting that Nico Harris has had to hire extra security, because of all the threats and all the stuff he's received online for the decision. His justification behind the decision, the owner yesterday, and them talking about, doubling down, tripling down on the decision to trade Luka. Then Anthony Davis, we learned yesterday, is going to be out. It's just been so much going on with the Mavericks right now. Let's start with the Anthony Davis news that just happened last night. We learned Anthony Davis, he played his debut on Saturday against the Rockets. He dropped 26, 16, 7, 3 blocks. Like, he had an amazing game. He had to leave in the third quarter due to an injury, and before coming to the Mavericks, he was out for the Lakers due to abdominal injury. He comes back, plays that game, only plays 3 quarters, gets injured again. Yesterday, we find out it's another injury. I think now he has an adductor strain, and it looks like he'll miss multiple weeks, could miss up to a month, could be out indefinitely for AD. And it stings even more for Dallas, because the reason why they trade Luka Doncic is to get Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is supposed to have kind of a lot of weight on his shoulders to help this team win a championship. Like, this is what this move was for. And the sad part is that we've seen throughout Anthony Davis' entire career, injuries are just an occurrence for him. It just is what it is. And the Mavericks are banking on him being healthy, him and Kyrie being healthy, and let's go win a chip. And they don't really get to see that. You get three quarters of it, and the injury happens. And it just really sucks for Mavs, because literally they're kind of dang near put all their chips into Anthony Davis with this move, and now you may not see it prosper until the playoff time, until the end of the season, until maybe March, April. So that really sucks. And the Mavericks are not guaranteed in any position right now. The Mavericks right now, you look at them, they're the 8th seed in the West, so most likely maybe have to go through the play-in. And it also sucked because that game was so great. Like, Anthony Davis was playing amazing. It was moving everywhere. It was like, oh shoot, the Mavericks, and like the Mavericks are still going to be a good team. Even when they trade Luka, brought in AD, we all should have understood they're still a good team. Kyrie Irving, Anthony Davis, the role players they have, that is a good team. That is a good team. But it's just, you add the context of them having Luka Doncic before having Anthony Davis is what makes things bad and makes things worse. But this actually is a good team. Like, realistically, can go far in the playoffs, But when you're being led by Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving, both 31, 32 years old, both have had injury issues, it just, it could lead to some dark things. And we already see it right now. Literally one game in is like, man, we're going down this path where Anthony Davis is going to be out for a little while. And who knows what's going to happen in this stretch, you know? So that really sucks for them. And just for Mavericks fans out there, it's been rough for them, man. It's been rough. Like literally, just being in the NBA Finals not too long ago, coming into this season, they had a hot stretch in the middle of the season where it was like, here come the Mavericks. Like after OKC, it's them. It's either gonna be them or OKC. Like they're gonna be in the conference finals. They're gonna have a shot. As long as you have Luka Doncic, you're gonna have a chance to win every series. And in the past week, going from that to going to we traded Luka Doncic. Not that he requested, we traded Luka Doncic with no one knowing. Literally the GM on his own, Nico Harrison said, "I'm trading Luka Doncic away." Not putting out in the public, not even consulting anybody else really about it, not consulting Mark Cuban, the former owner, the coach, nobody, the fans, because he also said, because he knew he was going to get pushback from it. And he didn't want that to sway his decision, which already, that's a bad look. When you're thinking already, before you even pull the trigger on the trip, and you're already thinking, I'm going to get pushback from this, and I'm not going to ask anybody because I know they're going to push back for me, that should be a sign that you shouldn't do that, you know? And just, it's not even that, it's the doubling and tripling down that I see every time from not only Nico Harrison, but now I think the owner, is it the owner? I think somebody in the Mavericks organization said something yesterday, and he was like, yeah, man, like, you see all the star players, how hard they work. Guys like Jordan, Magic, Bird, Shaq, notably known for not really going 100% so hard all the time. And they're just the way they're belittling Luca and the way they're just kind of tearing him down as a player and as a person every time, you know? Like, as soon as the trade happened, all the reports about, they didn't think he was worthy enough to be their franchise anymore. They didn't think, you know, he took his conditioning seriously. We don't think he can take us to where you want to get to, even though he took you to the NBA Finals. Like, just the tearing down of Luka's character and him as a player, as a person, from the Mavericks organization, from Nico Harrison and the owners, and that it's just like, it's weird. It is weird. And the owner even, like, again yesterday, saying all that and like doubling, tripling down on it. Where at this point, it's been a week. It's over. You don't have to tell. You don't have to mention his name anymore. You don't have to. Like, you don't have to talk about him anymore. Can we please talk about the new team now and Anthony Davis and Max Christie? I feel like every time they're put a microphone in their face, they're just talking about Luka still. And it's like, bro, he's not on your team anymore. You traded him. You did what you had to do. Okay, it's over. It's done with. All right? You have Anthony Davis and Max Christie now. Those are your players. Talk about your team and your players. Like, it's just so weird. It's like, it feels like they're trying to justify, not to everybody, they're trying to justify in their own head that I made the right decision. I made the right choice. I made the right choice. I did it. That I made the right choice. And kind of trying to tell himself in his head, yeah, we're good. I did it. I did the right thing. And it's weird. It's just really, really, really weird. And for Mavs fans out there, I'm wearing a Dallas Maverick hoodie right now. Like, I got this like a year or two ago. I forgot. I'm wearing a Maverick hoodie right now for y'all, man. And I just, and then the protests that are happening outside the arena before the first home game, where people had signs. The first day the trade happened, when they were playing against Cleveland, not even at home, someone had like coffin out there. There's a truck that went by that said, "Fire Nico, sell the team." And you can't blame Mavericks fans for it. You really can't. Because imagine how you would feel for your certain team. If your team traded, like, your star player for no reason. Like, he's not old. He's not 35 and about to be at the end of his career. He's not up for a contract. Well, he kind of is up for his contract, but he's not going to be a free agent next season. He didn't request a trade. He he never said anything about, I don't want to be here anymore. Like, they just took him up and said, hey, bye, you're gone, and didn't tell anybody. Like, no reports came out, nothing. They just did it. And it just happened like that. And you wake up the next morning, and now all of a sudden, your star player's just not on your team anymore. On a good team. Not on a bad team. On a good team that was just in the NBA final. Like, on a good team. Like, imagine how you would feel. Imagine if you're a Bucks fan and Milwaukee just traded Giannis. Just like that. Nothing. Imagine if you were a Cavs fan and they just traded Donovan Mitchell. Imagine if you're a Celtic fan and they just traded Jason Tatum. Imagine if you're a Grizzly fan that just traded John Morant. Imagine if you're a a Knick fan and they just traded Jalen Brunson just because. Imagine if you're a Thunder fan and they just traded Shea. Like, you know how crazy you would feel? So you see all this Maverick stuff, I can't blame them. I can't blame the Mavs fans for being upset and pissed and angry. I can't blame some people. Like, you know how many people are not Mavericks fans anymore? You know how many fans have just kind of given up that fandom just like after one simple move when they've probably been invested years and years and years in this team? Like, and the crazy part is, yeah, I can't blame them. I cannot say you're bad for that or you're wrong for that. I can't really blame them for that because the way they just got blindsided and just got disrespected by their owner and by their GM, it's crazy. It's an insane situation. Like, literally, we haven't seen this situation happen really in sports. Like, maybe it's happened in football, baseball. I'm not really sure. Maybe a long time ago. I can't think of anything recently, but like it's just insane, man, and it's crazy. It is really crazy. And for the Mavs fans out there, again, I'm wearing the hoodie right now, and if you're still a Mavs fan and you're watching this, man, I feel for you. I really do. I feel for you. I hope everything goes well. You know, um, I hope that you can find peace at some point. If it's not now, maybe it's later, in a couple years from now. Maybe you just turn into a Luka Doncic fan. Which at this point, why not be just a fan of a player instead of a team, you know? But I just really feel for all the Mavericks fans out there, all the people in the Mavericks organization that didn't have anything to do with it, all the players for the Mavericks, guys like Kyrie, Derek Lively, PJ Washington that were just kind of blindsided, Jason Kidd. You know, there's even one of the assistant coaches left. I think his name is, I don't remember what his name is off the top of my head, but one of their assistant coaches left because of this trade. Like, imagine you traded your player, your star player, and your coach, and one of your coaches says, "I don't want to be here anymore. Bye." Like, that is crazy. That is insane. So the Mavericks, Nico Harrison, GMs, owners, I hope y'all are happy. You know, I hope y'all are happy. And you better hope that you get the most success that you possibly can out of this. Because if it comes crashing down and burning, then I fear. I fear for what will happen over there. But it's the same situation. I just wanted to make this video to talk about it because there's so much going on over there, and there's so much craziness happening that there's so much going through my head with all this happening that I kind of just have to feel like I have to talk about it. I have to like make a video about it, talk about it, something, because all of this has just happened in the past weeks, from trading Luka, the GMs and owner doubling down on it, to having Anthony Davis, to now Anthony Davis being injured, just like that. It's like it's a crazy series of events. But yeah, it's gonna be it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, if you enjoyed the content around here, consider subscribing, liking, turn notifications, and also like that. I'd really appreciate it. Really upset a lot. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.